We are pleased to present module CCS03. This is the second presentation in our Introduction to Contamination Control. This session will discuss the implementation of the contamination control strategy, bioburden endotoxin monitoring, and finally the difference between sterile and non-sterile process controls. The objectives for this part of the introduction series will cover identifying the implementation steps of contamination control strategy in the pharmaceutical industry, understand the benefits of endotoxin bioburden monitoring for microbial identification and control, and understand the differences between sterile and non-sterile processes. The implementation of the contamination control strategy begins with environmental scanning, which involves several key steps, which are 1. Identify, design, procedural, technical, and organizational elements necessary for manufacturing processes. 2. Analyze the type of product or intermediate manufactured within the facility to understand specific contamination risks. And 3. Evaluate essential quality characteristics such as sterility, bioburden, endotoxin, and particulates to gauge contamination control requirements. Continuing with environmental scanning, we want to examine critical quality attributes of products or intermediates to ensure alignment with quality standards, analyze the quality target profile of the finished products to establish contamination control strategies. The complexity of environmental scanning varies based on microbial, endotoxin, and particulate specification specific to each product or intermediate. The second part of the implementation of the contamination control strategy involves strategy formulation, which focuses on prioritizing actions based on their impact on CCS performance and the costs associated with implementation, setting deadlines accordingly. Detailing the necessary steps to achieve the desired outcome for each action, ensuring clarity and accountability in the implementation process. The third part of the process of contamination control strategy involves strategy implementation, which focuses on implementing control strategies, procedures, processes, and organizational elements aimed at preventing contamination throughout the manufacturing process, mapping pharmaceutical process to pinpoint potential contamination sources and evaluate residual risk, and conducting gap analysis to compare residual risk against CCS objectives, ensuring alignment with contamination prevention goals. Continuing with strategy implementation, we should leverage existing quality risk assessments to define elements of the control strategy, such as parameters and attributes related to product materials, facility conditions, and monitoring protocols. We should establish monitoring locations and frequency based on defined control strategy and specific contamination risks identified, and facilitate effective communication of the CSS strategy, implementation progress, and updates throughout the cross-functional team approach, ensuring comprehensive feedback and alignment across departments. The fourth part of the process of the contamination control strategy involves strategy evaluation, which focuses on using historical performance and data trend analysis to ensure the effectiveness of the CSS in preventing contamination incidents. Monitoring the evolution of the risk priority number value associated with residual risk over time, ensuring early identification of potential vulnerabilities, and establishing predefined RPN thresholds that trigger immediate corrective actions to proactively mitigate contamination risks. Evaluating CSS performance using quality performance parameters such as the percentage of rejected batches, recalls, customer complaints, and incidents involving disqualified operators. Determining the frequency of evaluations based on assessing contamination risk levels and the criticality of product quality. Incorporating improvement actions derived from thorough data analysis to continually enhance the CSS and uphold stringent contamination control standards. Thank you for watching this introduction to this module. If you'd like to watch the remainder and get 25% off our Contamination Control Fundamental Program, head over to our website at pharmalliance.ie/training-programs and use code YT25OFF. Please do it now as spaces are limited and it's expiring soon. Thank you for your time. We'll see you on the next module.